Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into Double Check, which is this really fascinating Chrome extension designed to catch those incredibly expensive, embarrassing, and frankly hard-to-reverse data entry mistakes right at the exact moment they happen. Look, if you've ever had to deal with high-stakes numbers, you already know exactly why a tool like this is so absolutely crucial.
Seriously, think about it. We've all felt that icy dread right before hitting submit on a massive wire transfer, right? You do that whole careful yet completely manual ritual. You read the number, you reread it, you trace it with your finger on the monitor until you literally leave a smudge. And then, finally, you ask a colleague to come look over your shoulder just to be 100% sure. It's so stressful simply because the cost of being wrong is just incredibly high.
And honestly, it's kind of wild that we just accept that stress as part of the job. But as the source material points out, securing absolute peace of mind with this tool's $99 lifetime license actually costs less than the penalty fee for a single bounced wire transfer. Or if subscriptions are more your thing, it's just $39 a year. That is a tiny, tiny fraction of the cost of a mistake. And that's not even counting the sheer panic and time wasted trying to reverse a botched transaction.
Okay, let's move into Section 1, the verification workflow.
So let's look at how a new user can immediately eliminate that anxiety. The workflow here is beautifully simple, especially for folks who are entering numbers all day long. First, you just invoke the tool directly on the field you're typing into. You don't have to click away to another tab, you just use a quick keyboard shortcut, or you can right-click and select Double Check this field. Second, you perform a blind two-step verification. It takes that whole stressful manual ritual and turns it into a super fast, verifiable keyboard-first process. Rather than just staring at your monitor and praying your eyes don't skip a zero, you're actually prompted to retype the value directly from your source document. It forces this blind double entry. This guarantees that two independent readings completely agree before you can attest to the number. So empty fields get this incredibly safe two-step entry flow, and getting a matching pair is literally the only way the value gets written into your field. Which brings us to Section 2, catching what humans miss.
But hey, what happens if those two independent readings don't match? Or worse, what if your source document itself has a flaw? Well, let's talk about the classic transcription error, transposed digits. Instead of just vaguely flagging that something is wrong with a generic red X and making you hunt for the typo yourself, Double Check mathematically checks the input. It catches the mistake and names the exact swapped characters. For instance, specifically telling you characters 8 and 9 appear swapped. That kind of instant precision is just a game changer. And it goes way beyond simple typos. The tool instantly computes internal check digits for 23 different built-in formats. We're talking US routing numbers, IBANs, Swift codes, QSIPs, and even crypto like Bitcoin and Ethereum addresses. Because these formats have strict internal math rules, Double Check usually catches a single wrong digit before you even finish retyping it. It quite literally catches the stuff the human eye naturally glosses over.
Let's dive into Section 3, stopping changed bank fraud.
Now, this builds a massive defense against a huge threat, business email compromise, or BEC scams. You see, there's a crucial difference between accidentally fat-fingering a number and falling for a highly targeted scam. An accidental typo usually fails those math checksums we just talked about. But a BEC scam, that's when a fraudster emails you saying, hey, heads up, our bank details have changed. The new account number they give you is perfectly formatted, it's mathematically valid, it just happens to belong to the scammer, not your actual vendor. No math formula in the universe can catch that.
So how does it handle this? Well, Double Check actually remembers a payee's usual account using a one-way fingerprint. If you name a payee once, let's say Acme, and later on a new entry doesn't match the one you previously saved for them, it throws up a glaring warning. This is not the account you saved for Acme. It literally forces you to stop and verify the change, catching the exact type of fraud that purely mathematical validation completely misses.
Moving on to Section 4, privacy as an architecture. Naturally, when we're talking about processing highly sensitive things like payroll, paralegal case numbers, or wire transfer data, it brings up massive privacy and security questions. The developers emphasize this really powerful concept: privacy is the engineering, not a policy. In practice, this means the extension has zero standing access to the websites you visit. It's not running in the background, no scripts are watching you type. It can't even see a web page until you explicitly invoke it. Plus, there are no analytics, zero telemetry, and the values you check never, ever leave your computer. And this commitment to local processing is absolute, even if you're using their advanced verification methods. Say you paste a screenshot of a value. It uses a bundled optical character recognition engine right there on your device. The image is never uploaded anywhere. If you speak the number aloud from a piece of paper, it uses Chrome's on-device speech recognition. Or if you want to hear the number read back to you digit by digit, it uses a local on-device voice. The whole shebang stays entirely on your machine.
Finally, Section 5, proof without the data.
This brings up a really interesting paradox, right? If data never leaves your device and is never centrally stored, how on earth do you prove to your boss or an auditor that you actually did these rigorous checks? Well, they brilliantly solve this. Every single attested check goes straight into a tamper-evident log. It documents exactly when you checked it, where you checked it, the format, and your attestation. But crucially, it never stores the actual sensitive values themselves. Every entry is sealed with a keyed hash that changed to the previous one, so any sneaky edits or removals later on are instantly flagged. For the absolute highest stakes fields, you can even set it up to require 2 different people to type their names and sign off together. Complete, verifiable proof of process, with literally zero data liability. So it leaves us with this pretty provocative thought. With a highly secure, locally run tool ready to step in as an infallible second pair of eyes directly in your browser, isn't it time we stop risking expensive, agonizingly hard-to-reverse mistakes on antiquated manual checks? Think about your own daily workflows, and really consider if you are truly protected against that one simple typo that could quite frankly cost you everything.